What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 209 of the Kinda Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by one of the coolest dudes in video games, Greg Miller. He's not here yet, but he will join us soon. He is in an Uber on the way here. And joining us once again, Fran Mirabella.
How's it going, Tim? What's up, best friends?
Fantastic. And Andrea Renee.
What's up, guys? You could say it's going fantastic.
Fantastic days, baby. You guys, right back from DICE.
Yes.
You're down in Vegas.
Her literally hours ago or whatever. I got back last night.
Yeah, we're all in a loopy mood.
Yeah, Greg too. Did Greg get back this morning or last night?
Last night. Last night. Yeah.
We were all at DICE.
Man. But this is the Kinda Funny Gamescast each and every week right here on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. We get together, talk about video games, all the things that we love about them. You can get the show early by going to patreon.com/kindafunnygames. You can also get the show ad-free or be a Patreon producer, just like all these beautiful people. Joel Beezer, Trevor Starkey, Muhammad, Blackjack, Steven Johnson, Scott Hardinger, Fanatic Gamer 1986, Drunk on Writing, DJ Kento, Neil Mariquin, Sancho West, James Hastings. Says James Gastings, but I'm pretty sure I know that you're Hastings. Ben Fraley, Eduardo Cabrera Luchaga, Michael Howard, Snowbike Mike, Daniel Haynes, Cassie Kern, and Mateus Forshim. Thank you very much for being Patreon supporters, making our dreams happen, including the world tour that we're doing. Our next stop, San Francisco, this Sunday. I'm going to be there. Greg's going to be there. Are you going to be there, Andrea?
I'm probably going to be there, but there's an outside chance I might not.
Fran, are you going to be there?
Same answer, but I just recently realized it and found out the details. I was watching the games daily, and I was like,
Fran and I were in the same boat. We're like, could you maybe have told us a little sooner about the San Francisco date?
KindaFunny.com/events.
We knew it was coming.
Do you not hear the rigmarole of every episode of every show that we ever do?
In my defense, I've been out of the country and I'm very backlog on the show. So.
I don't know about that.
I'm gonna try to get there because I always have a great time meeting up with the best friends. They're such a treat and so fun to talk to. So
Arizona was super fun and a lot of questions about where's Andrea?
I want to go to all.
I know I wanted to go to Phoenix because my mom lives there.
What time is it at?
3 to 6.
Okay.
You can get all the details, kindafunny.com/events.
And by the time this goes live, that has already happened for public.
Yes, good point. On Monday.
Yes. Just kindafunny.com/events. You know what to do.
Check their Instagram. You can see the photos.
This episode is brought to you by Hims and Movement, but we'll get to that later. Right now, real quick, right off the bat, I want to talk about a game called Crackdown 3. Now,
I would love to hear about this.
Have you played?
No.
Have you played?
Hearing.
I have not because I got my code while I was out of the country
DICE.
and then DICE happened.
Yeah, next week will be interesting.
Andy Cortez.
Andy! Papacito!
He's got his headphones blaring.
We
had the door closed, so they might not hear you.
Wait, so he's played Crackdown 3. There he is.
Come on here for like a couple minutes.
There he is. You got to come over here.
Got a seat ready for you. Crackdown 3.
Sit that Crackdown right there.
What are your top level impressions? Because we did a party mode. You can watch it now, youtube.com/kindafunnygames. Andy was the one playing. Me and Nick were just kind of watching him.
Yeah. It not only looks like a 360 game remaster like in 4K, but it feels really bad. It doesn't feel like a modern game should control. It reminds me a lot of, you know when you go back to Halo and it's like, this feels different, but it still feels good. This isn't like that. It's like you're going back and it still feels kind of wonky and weird. Movement just doesn't feel great. Climbing surfaces, just the whole maneuvering that I was seeing some people, I couldn't put my finger on it, but when you drop and you roll, animations are kind of clunky, like they just don't fit super well. I don't really recommend it unless you have Game Pass and it's free or whatever. I just cannot see spending $60 on this video game.
Is it a $60 title? Yikes.
Looking it up.
Yeah, it's been in development forever, and
and that's the craziest thing.
It's a second.
It was announced in 2014, right?
2013, I think.
It's been
2013 or no 14.
I thought it was 14.
I'm bummed to hear because we've seen a lot of the footage and trailers leading up to it.
2014. You're right.
Yep, there we go. E3.
Every time I watched it, I was like, oh man, like there looks like there's physics slowdown. Yeah, things look like they're just off, but hopefully by the time it's finished, you don't want to judge it before it's out, but it seems like it just hasn't progressed.
I didn't notice really any slowdown or anything like that. I don't think we had any of those problems.
It runs better now.
I feel like it runs fine, but
it's just clunky.
And it could be that we're so early into the game that as you keep playing, you keep unlocking these passive abilities where now you have a double jump, now you have this ability, whatever they may be. But I still don't feel like I had a whole lot of fun playing it.
It looked like you were
not
really
getting good
struggling to accomplish what you were trying to do. Like anytime we're like, hey, pick up that guy and throw him at that guy, which seems like a very basic gameplay mechanic, it seemed like 90% of the time you missed. You know?
It could just be me playing. I don't know. But
I don't think it
but
was.
I think after playing Apex for so long and how fluid that movement feels, going back to this felt like a noticeable downgrade. Where like I feel like I should be landing on that ledge and climbing over, and it look great. I don't know. It bums me out that this is how the game feels. Because if nothing, I never expected the game to look incredible. Because it's has that player
Well, it's
outline.
Crackdown.
They kept it's like you're not.
They're
I'm
not
not gonna
going for photorealism.
exactly.
right?
But I still want it to control really well. But it's like when you go back to an old PS1 game, it's like, oh, this controls really weirdly. This kind of reminds me of that.
And I think that for a game that was in development this long, the level of polish is just very low. Like there's so many art styles in the game that are kind of just thrown together and it doesn't feel cohesive at all. In the hour that we played, we saw like 4 different styles of cinematics. Like it would go from like CG that looked actually really good to then this like 2D animated thing that looked really
Sounds like a
flashy.
storyboard that they.
Like, yeah, kind of. And
They
it
had to
just
fill in the
it doesn't
gap.
feel cohesive at all. It just feels kind of like they're like, well, we need something here, but it kind of feels like they gave up on putting budget into this game at a certain point, and we're just like, we just need
bet you they
something
did.
that's good enough to get to the next thing.
Yeah, the intro cutscenes are incredibly well done and animated. It's like this is full CG sort of cutscene, and they look great. Characters are phenomenal. The animation is incredible. But then it immediately cuts to sort of this Peace Walker style 2D weird movement flash where you could tell it's like a still image of somebody, but they are using like the puppet warp tool, so their arms are moving. They're still
totally.
they're still talking over it. And then there's also the real the real time cutscenes where they're using just the in-game engine to animate and have a character be like, oh, I'm the boss or whatever the fuck. But
the boss.
I just it really makes me sad.
Well, it certainly sounds like you're not alone, that there's a lot of people out there that feel like you do. But I thought it was interesting. I haven't listened to all of what's good from this week, but Steimer, of course, was very excited about Crackdown coming out, and she said that she's really enjoying her time with it. And it feels like if you loved the original Crackdown and you just wanted more of like running around and grabbing orbs and smashing stuff, that you're going to enjoy your time, but that this isn't like a Game of the Year contender, which I think we all knew,
Yeah.
you know, way before it ever launched.
It's like
right?
Fast and Furious, you know what I mean?
You know what you get.
Yeah, it's
Get in there.
just a big dumb time, you know.
There's good ones and bad ones though.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say for a second there. I did. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that they aren't enjoying it, but there are a few 9 out of 10.
Oh, we're going to get there. Don't you
Thanks,
worry.
Andy. Thank
Yeah,
you
no
very
problem.
much.
Wait,
Actually,
Andy, before Andy leaves.
Yeah,
yeah.
I just want to say, last week, some people said that I was talking over you, and I just want to publicly say it's hard to do on the show sometimes. So I wanted to apologize if that happened.
I didn't feel that way.
Okay.
I get that
I
with
think it
Nick
was
a
the
lot. Nick
Campari.
talks over me all the time.
I know.
Not
That's
so
all.
much
Yeah,
you.
I listened to the show. It doesn't sound like you were
I know,
talking over
vocal
him.
minority, but truly, because it was just the three of us, and the Campari was flowing.
Campari was flowing, baby.
Oh, some
Yeah, we brought some-
Negronis,
yeah,
maybe?
basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Greg Miller.
Great.
Welcome to a great show right now.
How you doing?
Best haircut he's ever had.
Thank you.
I really feel that way.
It does look
It's
nice.
a Vegas haircut at the Aria.
There you
They know
go.
what they're doing. You know what I'm talking about?
Very
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Greg,
Yeah.
you're about to have a great time. Fran Mirabella is in a mood right
No,
now.
I used
We got
up-
sassy Fran.
You said it. I feel like I used up all the fuel in the tank, and now it's.
We had a great pre-show for Patreon users, so definitely go check that out. But yeah, Andrea, what's up?
Well, Tim, you're the one who created a little piece of media that you tweeted out to the world. That's a very lovely edit, by the way.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So accurately reminding me that we placed a drunken bet, which was stupid of me. So for people who have not seen the tweet, I think
tweet heard around
Barrett
the
is going to
world.
pull it up here, and we can watch it on screen.
Nice.
Yeah,
So-
if you're an audio listener, it's worth going to watch the actual video. Yeah, who edited it?
Me.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought
Oh,
I thought an audience member did.
You know, we watched it on
your
Games
audi-
Daily. Let's watch it again here.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Andrea,
Yes.
this is a Kind of Funny Games Daily bet right
wow.
now. Crackdown 3.
What
it
do you
will
mean?
not get a single 9 out of 10 from any site that is listed in the Reset Era thread of reviews for the game.
What are we betting?
Whatever you want.
Oh, somebody.
1 month of Shandon Wine Club.
Yes.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
This is your fault at the end of the day.
Wine.
Accept
Give us
your
wine.
bet. If you lose, you pay for my next Shandon wine shipment. If I lose, what would you like?
Same thing for Gia.
You got it.
Hey, where's our pizza?
My favorite,
Brent
my
speaking
favorite
the
part
truth.
of the
Where
whole-
is the
whole thing.
pizza?
Brilliant.
So yeah, this is
So-
the kind of footy.
So here's the thing.
Tell me
I
the thing.
absolutely remember placing the bet. I 100% forgot that you limited it to Reset Era.
Limited it.
No, you did. But I mean, like,
Caveat.
it was important
Here it
for
comes.
us to frame the bet with actual parameters, right? So I'm glad that we did. In my inebriated state, I should never have let you set those specific parameters. I should have widened the umbrella a little bit.
To what? What would you have widened it to?
To any review.
But
Any
see,
review?
there's a problem with
Well,
that.
I think
It's like,
I think okay, so leading up to the bet, we were talking more about Metacritic reviews.
Yes.
And the reason why I agreed with you that I thought it was mostly going to get 7s and 8s, but that I said, have you been to Metacritic lately? There's always like that
Yeah.
one outlier. And so I thought the highest score it would get was a 9. I didn't think anybody would actually give this game a 10 out of 10 because Alien Colonial Marines got a 9 out of 10 in case anybody has forgotten. So that's why I had made the bet that I made. And like I said, I'm happy to oblige. Gia is a lovely person, and I will give her,
it's true.
I will give her
it's true.
champagne. But before we get there,
There it is.
the one problem that I
Metacritic.
actually texted that
Game spew with a 90 on
look,
Metacritic.
There it
Yeah.
is.
There
the fuck
it
is
is.
Game Spew,
The-
though?
but I know, but that's the thing. The one
It
single
might
thing
be in the
on
Reset Era
Metacritic,
thread now.
But because there's some foolery going on of people
We
trying
saw
to get
your
it in
tweet.
after.
It's not foolery.
Tomfoolery.
There's no rhyme or reason to what reviews are picked for that thread.
For Reset Era, yes, there is. In a way that Metacritic is a bunch of garbage, and
Okay,
that's
tell
why.
me what the
that's
how
why I
is the
chose.
rhyme? How is the rhyme or reason for Reset Era? Because Metacritic has a very like specific list of criteria that you have to meet in order to qualify for Metacritic.
The reason that I chose Reset Era.
Yes, it
the
is
reason-
because trust me, I've been desperately trying to get every outlet that I've
Oh.
started onto Metacritic
And
for
they
my entire
haven't.
fucking career, Fran, and it's goddamn
Well,
impossible.
you should talk to Game Spew and ask them.
Yeah, it's great. It's great that Game Spew's there.
I'm sorry, I don't know games. They
There's
might
a
actually
site
be
called
awesome.
Four
I don't
Fat
know.
Chicks that gets their shit on Metacritic. I'm like,
Hobby
all right.
consoles.
But yeah, Game Spew is a disaster. I'm calling it out right now. I went to look at a bunch of the other reviews. I'm like, their reviews are
I don't know.
garbage scores, like for everything. Their Onimusha
What
remaster
if
was
they're
like
paid?
an
No, I'm
875. But anyways, that doesn't matter. My point is, the reason I chose the Reset Era thing is like that is the voice of the people. It's fans choosing what goes into the thread, and
Right.
they're trying to get the consensus of gathering all the reviews that matter. Quote
Totally.
unquote.
Listen, here's my thing. I'm on your side.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah.
But the thing that I was going to bring up before we got down the sidetrack of Reset Era versus Metacritic was the thing that neither of us saw coming and that we didn't build in a contingency for is the fact that they've split the campaign and the multiplayer apart and they released them separately. And so we are seeing reviews going up where it's like in progress because the entire game wasn't out at the same time when the embargo lifted.
This is just the campaign right now, or
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
because they're still
There's 2 executables.
they're still doing
Look,
patches for Wrecking Zone.
the
That's the
thing.
name of the PvP.
I think so.
I'll give you whatever rope you need. It's fine. It's fine. This is all. Let them. I guarantee the multiplayer, if anything, is not going to improve
so
the scores to 9s.
I don't know. I don't know.
Because under the one single 9 it got a Metacritic, we're looking at the Metacritic scores going down.
No.
When we first talked about it was at a 64. Now it's a 60.
And for everybody listening, don't at me about
don't at it.
expecting the
We're having
game to
fun
be
here.
good. I knew the game wasn't going to be a 9.
Yeah.
The whole reason I made the bet in the fun of it was because I knew
Someone.
that at least one person
There's
was
always
going to
an
give it a
outlier.
9.
You are right.
And somebody did.
yeah,
So,
I agree that your bet was pretty good actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not
Under
good
the
because I
certain
let Greg
parameters, but
sway
yeah.
me into the Shandon
Oh,
shipment.
I did. You said, what are we playing for? I said something I thought you could win and like.
But every bet Tim has ever made me is like a pizza, and I gave
would've
him
took a
a
pizza.
bet worth
I'll
more
still
than
take a
$100,
pizza.
and I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
well,
kind of crazy.
G is
But
worth
I've been
it.
wanting to say what has been done cannot be shundone.
Yeah.
He's in
Roll the
mood.
credits. We're done.
Oh my
All right,
gosh.
so that's Crackdown 3. Moving on, a real quick thing because I don't want to talk about this too much. I finally beat Kingdom Hearts 3. It's 15 years in the making, and man, I loved the end bit more than the rest of the game for sure.
Long ending.
It's very long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The last like 5 hours of the game are the Kingdom Hearts stuff, not the Disney stuff. It's pure. It's actually the only part of the game that has story. Like the other 25 hours or whatever it is just like go to a bunch of Disney places and it's the Disney stories. And I was surprised because I thought the Disney stuff would be what I liked the most. But at the end of the day, I was like, it's super epic. The fights were super fun. Your character's finally like skilled enough and has all the different moves and systems going on where it's like the game feels right towards the end. Barrett,
What's up?
where are you at right now?
I just finished. Was Winnie the Pooh after Frozen or is it before Frozen?
Depends on.
I think I did Winnie the Pooh before Frozen and then I finished Frozen last night.
To like
How you feeling
50%
about
or
your
something.
life?
I'm feeling real bad about my life. Just playing through this game. It's trash, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Were you into Kingdom Hearts before ever? Or?
Not really.
Okay.
I had to play Kingdom Hearts for IGN for
Never heard of
in 5 minutes. That took us like 2 years
That's
to
a good
make.
series, actually.
That's
That
one
that
of
request
Alfredo
to make
gives you
that
tips,
video
right?
went in right when I started IGN and wasn't put up until after I stopped working at IGN.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've only played Kingdom Hearts 2, so yeah, I obviously don't understand most of the Kingdom Heartsy stuff that's going on, and I don't fault the game for that. But yeah, going through the Frozen world last night was very just depressing. Almost of just like, why is it so bad?
A lot of bad choices in that world. But
Why
yeah,
is it
at the
so
end of the
bad?
day, really enjoyed the end of the game. Really enjoyed my time with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say overall, did you enjoy it?
Overall,
Like, you
yeah.
recommend it? Okay.
Yeah, would I recommend it?
To
No.
fans.
Yeah, to fans, absolutely.
Fans of the genre will approve.
but I wouldn't recommend it to just people that are not interested at all in jumping in. Like, it is what it looks like. And yeah, the stuff that pretty much anything people love about the game, there's going to be an equal amount of people that look at it like, that's the worst part of it, right?
Gotcha.
But I liked the end like reveal was really kind of out of nowhere and wacky as all hell. And I can't wait for a Switch spinoff. Like, I
Okay.
feel like it's inevitable. And I
Kingdom
can't
Hearts
wait for that
Birth
to
by
happen.
Sleep, Switch.
Yeah, Switch Wish, yeah. Now, Fran, we got you. It's time for
Yes.
some Frantham.
Is it? Oh yeah, the Frantham.
This is the Frantham. Throw all your friends up.
I'm lucky that I got in from Vegas early enough to wake up at 6 a.m. this morning so I could meet the release time. 7 a.m. this morning it went online, so I got about 5 hours in of the actual game. You got to remember on EA Premiere,
Origin
which is-
Access Premiere.
That's right. What are you paid by these people or something?
I was at one point, yes. Full
But,
disclosure.
if you're on
Disclosure.
PC, you get the full game.
Yeah.
Now, if you're not on
Xbox.
that, you have EA Access. You can play the first 10 hours or whatever you get in 10 hours.
And
so
your,
anyway,
your
I'm
progress
playing the real
carries
game on
over,
PC.
right?
Yes, it does carry
that was
over, yeah.
that was a thing.
Does it from Access? I assume
does.
so.
I think
does.
so.
Because that'd be insane
Yeah.
to like say, oh, do you love this game? Well, you should buy it. And you're like, start over. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. Anyway, what I can say is that at this point, I've played almost 50 hours of the game though, because I played like 40 hours of open demo and then the time we spent, actually probably over 50. So things are blurring together a little bit in the sense of, I'm a lot early game still. So I'm a little like remiss to be like, oh, here's my recommendation. So it's a little
Destiny
simple.
killer. Just say it.
I'm not ready to say something like that. But what I will say is I'm really enjoying it. People keep coming in and asking me two main questions about it. The first one is, well, I want to play solo. Do you think it's going to be good solo? Or would you recommend playing solo? There's this hesitance to team up with people and have them drag you through this world or have to voice chat. What I will say is I do not have the confidence at this time that you can play it solo without, really running into some tough encounters. So I think you should be prepared that if you want to just silo off and not be mindful that in Anthem, when you load into the next sort of section in the open world, you do get pulled forward. There's this barrier that keeps showing up on the screen, even when you're playing with your teammates, when they go ahead. And by the way, it's a little big on the screen. Maybe we could redesign that in the future, but it's literally this caution tape that shows up because they're a little ahead of you and you've got 20 seconds to catch up or you're going to get a load screen and get pushed forward. So
How
anyway,
big are the open world sections you're running around in?
they're big.
Okay.
But the problem is even if you get separated a little, it starts to like warn you because you're 20 seconds out from the next problem. So I feel like that.
Maybe
and I'm-
that's something that they can fix, like
Maybe they could
post-launch.
load more. I don't know. I mean, I'm playing on PC, and so I would hope that
What's your
there's much
problem?
technical technical availability of
So
resources.
quick.
So anyway, so that's one thing. If you want to play solo, I think be very aware. It's designed, I believe, is a very heavy multiplayer game. The game itself, though, man, it feels so good still. All the problems that we saw in the demo, the server problems, it crashing. They had this 95% load issue. None of that's in there. I had it crash once though when I went into like a friends list, but it was out of 5 hours. It was at one time, and then I had like a weird load-in issue where the teams we were like loading in. Yeah, there's something going on with the loading. We loaded in at different times, and it just like was sort of an undone area, and I loaded in and I was dead. And so we ran into a couple situations like that. But overall, it has been very smooth. I love the feel of the game. It's giving me exactly what I want out of it. My biggest question, though, is that's why I'm a little, you're like, well, wait, would you like it or not? Yeah, I definitely like it, but like, where's it going to go in terms of variety of enemies, variety of weaponry, and like, I keep loading into the same sort of beautiful world and shooting enemies, and I'm really enjoying it, but I haven't even unlocked strongholds and stuff yet. So, long way of saying I really am enjoying it. I think it will remain my most anticipated game of the year, which it was on Gamescast, and it still is. And I've just got to play it out and see where we land. But I'm super excited to see where it goes. They announced more acts are coming and all this stuff. So that's where I'm at with it.
How do you feel about the fact that when you're in a group encounter and multiplayer, if you get downed, there's no respawning. You have to wait for someone to come and pick you up. That was my biggest gripe for my time with the demo.
They changed
coming
that
from
then.
being a Destiny player, where there are specific instances in Destiny where there's no respawning, but like
Right.
they're very few and far between, and they're very all buried in the end game.
Well, yeah.
And so I was just playing a regular mission, and if you die, you just sit there and you can't move, you can't switch cameras, and you have to wait until
yeah.
they come. So if you've been randomly match made with people that you're not on mic with,
Yeah.
then you could just
Could be
be
an
dead
issue.
forever until they come over and decide they want to revive you.
Well, what I will say, because we've played earlier versions, I think they changed some of that because there is respawn restricted, but if it's not, you can just respawn.
Okay.
But you're right about no changing camera, which sucks, by the way. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I'm just sitting here in a black and white screen with this like thing over me. But you can respawn. You definitely can. It takes you back just a little bit, then you can fly back in and get people. But there's respawn restricted, and anyway, it is a challenge still. I think that's my concern of if you're not playing with people you're talking to. But it's too early to say. I feel like, you know, I was trying to say before, I feel like I'm hitting this point. I've played so much of it in the early game, like I said, that people are like, wait, what happened to the excitement? You know, I'm also super tired today. I had like 3.5 hours of sleep. So I'm still really excited. The world is just gorgeous. And by the way, the optimizations that they've done in the engine that have led us to the launch product, it's really solid now. I'm playing on PC, and man, it is just like gorgeous. The engine runs really well. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I think it is going to scratch that itch, but it's just, you know, by the time I get into the weekend, you know, I'll have put in 15 hours and I'll be able to speak to it a little more next week. So
In the pre-show, you were talking a little bit about your complaints of the rollout plan.
oh my God. Yeah, I wanted to talk about that with
What's
all
so
you.
confusing about it?
So it's
It's
not-
out today on PC, kind of on but then if you pay 10 hours
Yeah.
on Xbox through EA
If
Access,
you're a basic member, so well, it was two things. One, I know that the spreadsheet has been getting some drama. Some people are like, "What's the a 2-year-old
Somebody
can
read a
figure it out."
joke about it at an award show recently.
Yeah,
I think.
exactly.
fuck those writers. You know what I mean?
The bigger topic, that's part of it, but the main topic actually is how do you guys feel about games that come out, let's look at this example, 7 days ahead of the actual release. This game doesn't release until February 22nd. That's the official release date. We get it early as an early access because I paid a subscription fee, which is a lot of money, and it's cool maybe to get that access. But how do you feel about that? But by the way, it's a story-driven game. You can stream it on Twitch.
That's
by
the
way,
part
it's a
that I'm
progression.
like kind of upset about. It's a
progression-driven game.
BioWare narrative in a game with 7 days of early access means someone's going to run through the whole campaign
Only for
before I
PC?
even get to play it on console.
By the way, only for PC past the first 10 hours. So how do you feel about that? By the way, Division, I believe, Gold releases 3 days early or something.
3 days is way different than 7 days,
I know, but
right?
So that's my question. Do you not care about 3, but 7's too much?
No, I care about it all. I think if a release date's a release date. Like if the code is ready, release the game. It's different if there's a certain version, like a Switch version or a PC version that's not ready to launch because the code's not finished,
Sure.
and then they delay, right? Like how a lot of times we'll see a PC release like anywhere from 3 months to 12 months after the console release because they just haven't optimized for PC. Different kind of situation, but we know that the PS4 and the Xbox One code is ready. It's gone to disc, right? And so this is clearly just a marketing deal, and it sucks. Like, I don't want to have to boot up Anthem on my PC just to play the story this weekend.
Yeah,
you
which
know?
we talked about actually before you
Don't do it, don't break.
I'm contemplating it.
Tetris
you know?
99.
I have now committed to playing on PS4. I played the demo on Xbox One, and it looked beautiful. But my clan and the people who are going to play with me are on PS4.
Yeah,
and so that's where I'm going to play. And like I can't load it up until I can preload it on the 21st, and then I have to wait until the 22nd to get in. That sucks.
I think it's all totally fine. The one part that I
Really?
think is bullshit is that's PC only, not the consoles. Like the 10-hour restriction, I think is weird, and I don't quite understand why they're doing that.
Yeah, and it's
Because
only for
they're
Xbox.
pushing Origin Access Premier. This is EA's big thing that they announced at E3 last year. They're trying to start this premium subscription service with their Origin platform, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, and they were really pushing Origin with Apex Legends as well.
Yeah.
It was really interesting to have some conversations with people about the raw numbers of Apex at DICE, and like
yeah.
everyone kind of giving their hot takes on it.
But why is it just PC though?
Well,
'Cause it's
I believe,
Origin.
and that's where I'd love to know. I'm pretty sure it's the contractual crap again. Again, we're getting into crossplay territory where it's not on PlayStation at all. You can't do EA access, right?
Correct.
Because I assume of your
Because
partnership with
Microsoft
Sony.
and EA
And
did a financial deal
that's
for
right.
EA access on
And
Xbox
so
specifically.
Xbox lets them, PlayStation won't. On PC, whatever, it's their own client. And you're like, where does, I can't decode all this. Yeah,
This is
but
business, Tim.
I mean, so I don't think it's okay at all. I was wanting to go last, actually. I was curious what.
Oh, I mean,
Greg,
I fall in the
you've
same.
been, playing games forever, man.
I have been playing games forever, Fran. That's correct.
In the scope
I
of
mean, I think
doesn't strike you.
I don't. Here's my thing. I don't personally care. I want to play Anthem. I can't wait to play Anthem. I'm excited to play Anthem. This weekend was that weird thing of like, it's that dead time. You know what I mean? Of like, Anthem's next week, so it's not like I want to get
Yeah.
into something else. But then now it's RE DLC, it's Tetris, it's the Fortnite Double XP weekend, and these
Metro Exodus, my friend.
Apex
We'll
Legends.
talk about it.
Yeah,
we'll
well,
talk
yeah,
about
you
it.
got to sell me on it today. I started. I digress. It's that thing of, oh man, I wish I had it this weekend, but I can wait a week and I don't really care. And I get it. And I feel like 3 weeks in, no one's going to care or remember, and it's not going to be a big deal. I get that it's a business thing of, yeah, we want you to come play it through our thing. We don't want to share the revenue with anybody. We want you to just use Origin.
And yeah, we talked about it a bit on Games Daily today. Like to me, it's like it's a business thing, but it's also if you want it, you can pay for it and you can get it. It's not like they're not allowing people to or limiting the people that are allowed to. It's not like only the first 100 people to come in or whatever. It's like,
But it's limiting to people who can't afford a gaming PC. I think that's the argument that I've been seeing
And
in
$100
online
a year
forums
for the
is that
service or whatever.
an Xbox One Slim or a PlayStation 4 Slim is a very reasonable entry price into playing video games. A PC that can run Anthem through Origin Access Premier, I mean, you're spending at least $1,000.
and I feel like you're getting a premium experience and you get to do things like this. It's like video games aren't free. They cost money to make. They cost
Correct.
money to play. So it's like I just don't. It's not like an altruistic thing of like, yeah, well, the code's done, so everyone gets it at the same time. It's like Netflix, right? You pay for Netflix because there's premium content.
I know it's
there.
not the exact same.
No, it's definitely not the same. Sorry, Greg, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Why
No,
not?
go ahead.
No, well, I don't know. You said something. I don't know if he's going to respond.
It's not the same as Netflix. She said, "What is your response to that, Tim?"
Well, how is it not? Like they're going to entice people to get their subscription service based on giving people content that's exclusive to them, right? You get exclusive access to.
But it's not exclusive forever, right? The whole thing about Netflix is that the exclusive shows on Netflix you can only ever watch on Netflix like in perpetuity, right? Like you can't watch Orange is the New Black on Hulu. And so like that's why Netflix I think is kind of apples and oranges here because you're going to be able to play Anthem on other platforms in 7 days. And like
if you buy it still though.
normally I would be on your side here, but I'm with Fran that like it feels just like a clear cash grab marketing play to try to get people to sign up for an Origin Access Premier account, and that's their prerogative, and that's okay. They're allowed to-
That's where I come down. I feel like I don't throw this around loosely. I don't mean to be, it feels kind of like a scuzzy marketing. I want your money move, but it's a business, and I get it. It's you're also your EA, so you're damned if you
Yeah.
do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, I guess my thing is like I don't see it as scuzzy marketing stuff. I see it's marketing. It's like them trying to be like, hey, this is a program we're investing in, and we want you to subscribe.
Yeah,
it's enticing.
I wouldn't call it scuzzy. I just like it's frustrating as a player.
Absolutely.
Is this period going to be over quickly? Yes, it will be. But like Fran was talking about with the narrative stuff, like I'm just worried as a fan, and also as this is my most anticipated game of the year, that like I don't want any of that story stuff spoiled for me ahead
Sure.
of time. You know, and with what I do, I can't just block the word Anthem from all of my social channels, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm just expressing some frustration.
No, absolutely.
That's all.
I get it.
See, it's still for me. I mean, even Anthem right now I'm looking forward to playing it. Everybody says I'm gonna love it. I still haven't ever touched the sticks with it. I'm excited to actually try it, but it's just in the Shadow Division 2. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Division 2.
Still always.
If you could hit me in the head with a brick right now,
open beta
Tim,
coming
I
so
would wake
soon.
up. I'd be ready to go.
So, I'm dying to go on this
Go.
topic. And I will say, I don't do this often. A lot of people call me a shill because I like to be objective. And
It's okay, you
like
and me
you
both, my
said,
friend.
Yeah, I see the business side. There's an
Why would
irony.
they call you a shill in your respawn shirt?
I'm out here touting Apex Legends. I understand the marketing side. I understand the business. There's an irony. We're doing a Patreon show for subscribers that is later released, but this is not an event that you can't consume in a certain way with other people. That's what games are. Even if it wasn't an online service, this, man, it's more like going to the theater. And I struggle to get the analogy right, but like there's a lot of people that they can't go see what you're seeing. Well, too bad. You're a subscriber to Fandango or whatever it is. And you're one of the few. Now you're going to go out and spoil the story. But it also removes the community event, us all together. So I hate it. I will pay you to stop doing this. I'm tired, honestly, of like as a community of gamers going through this. It sucks. It's exclusive in a way that is not beneficial. And so what I can say is, yes, I want my $100 worth. So let's say I got to play the first 2 hours or something reasonable, or even if it's not the game, I'm getting like these really amazing skins. It's totally just vanity, whatever. But this is the freaking game. And like, honestly, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of like the early release, whether it's 3 days. I always have loved launch night, and you go out and you stand in line, and I know we don't do it anymore, but that is the feeling that I cherish. And we all run home, and I'm jealous of New Zealand because they got out there first.
Yeah.
But like, this is so far removed from that.
I guess for me,
it sucks.
The interesting wrinkle you guys are both adding that I didn't think about is story, right?
And the
Because
story,
it is
man.
like, all the 2K games do this, right? Where it's like, what do they release on the Friday, or they release on Tuesday for Gold Edition, or Fridays on Gold Edition, and then the next Friday for everybody else, or some shit like that. But I understand that, yeah, the story mode and NBA 2K or whatever doesn't have the same weight as a BioWare thing. I just want to feel like Iron Man.
Yeah, and I'm super worried about the story stuff, but just from a progression side too, it just sucks to not enjoy it as a community. But also, when you do take it into the world of online matchmaking, I don't know how good it's gonna. I haven't done matchmaking yet. I've just played with friends, so I kind of wonder: are there enough people? Even it kind of removes the real experience, and you got to wait till next week. But I do understand from a marketing side. I just disagree with this as the benefit. And yeah, it's baffling to the consumer, all these different ways to play. I've had so many questions about how to play it. So I think it sucks. I know it's not going to go away. And I think we should actually talk about sometime where we probably have where subscriptions are going. But the reason this is happening is because everyone's looking at their revenue and they're looking at free to play transactions, but also now, just like what is Netflix, like you brought it up, if you can get people hooked into a subscription, a Patreon, stuff like that, it's great because you have recurring support that you can plan your business on. And that's kind of where some of this future's going.
I'm not super familiar with
I know the Patreon thing I think is not a great example because people who don't watch kind of funny content on Patreon are getting it for free.
Well, yeah. No,
I'm
that's
paying
our
the
choice,
same
though.
dollar amount
true.
that Origin Access Premier is paying.
Yeah.
They're
meant
just
for the
buying it on a
terms of-
different platform. That's where I think like the breakdown here is like you're paying for early access. I still have to pay for the game just like you do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
No, yeah, that's a very
You're just
good
buying
point.
it on a
But I
different
paid
platform.
more.
But the fact that we're
But
getting the content out for free,
get
like
it.
that's a bonus. Like that's just
No, but that's what I'm
how
saying.
we
But
decided
like,
to
that's
run
why
the
I don't
business.
think comparing the two is an accurate comparison.
I see, and I wasn't comparing on that front. It was
Yeah.
more that it's a recurring subscription-based service. It's not advertising anymore. Whatever it is, the market is changing. That's all I meant by that.
Right.
But what I will say, I did pay more than you paid then, though. So sure, you might have paid for the game, but I paid more. So I don't know. You could argue that
Because
you
your
didn't
Origin
pay
a
for the
subscription?
early full version.
'Cause you have to
just
pay
paid
for the subscription
meaning
to
I
Access
can
Premier,
That's
yes.
right. I can make a monetary argument. I know you paid for the full version. It's done, but
Yeah.
I paid for the full early version. Did
True.
you pay more? So whatever.
I did not. No.
Different, and I wouldn't
am
argue
not an
against
Origin
it.
Access
I
Premier
know.
member,
And
Frank.
like I said, I don't
How
want
can you even sit at this table? Get away from me, disgust me.
I'm with you. I hate that side
Oh.
of it. So anyway, I really hope this.
I think it's
gets
easy
smoothed
for me
out.
to sit on my throne of like whatever. I got other other things to play and
got a
not have
bunch
a
of-
feeling. But it for me, it's very much like I think crossplay, right? Where I didn't really care until I was like into Fortnite, and I was like, oh wait, I'm like, that's stupid, and I'm like, well, that's dumb. But I think if it was that. The Last of Us Part 2 was releasing in this very weird, awkward scheduling way, right?
What would you do?
I'd pay them.
You'd
I'd pay
pay
the money.
them and get it, right? Because
I'd
you
be
want to get it
grumpy about it
early.
on Twitter, though. I'll tell you what.
Would you really? Like, that's a good example. Like, would you be grumpy about that?
Here's the thing. Run me through. Right now, we're boiling it down. I think again, even more than what we're talking about, right? Because we're saying it's available. I can get the $80 edition of Last of Us 2 and play it a week early, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we trying to tie it to a subscription thing? Are we trying to tie it to? It's not apples because there's not platforms and stuff. I would gladly pay $80 to play it early. No, I have no problem with that.
Wait, what's the
What
example?
if, what
Last
if
of Us
there was
Part
like
2.
a PSVR version exclusively
But
that
that
came out
sucks.
first, and you had to buy a PSVR in order to play it?
Oh, good thing I love it.
Wait, what does it matter? Wait, what's the question though? Because
This
like,
is not a good question for
I
you.
know,
as a
I know,
Sony
I know.
fanboy.
It's- I know
This
why-
hypothetical situation
These are all
is
cases by
not,
cases.
But I guess
good.
that's my thing. Is like this is for the fanboys. This is for the people that want to do that need to get it a week early. I'd pay $100 if I
Yeah,
could have
you
got Smash a
would.
week early.
I would pay more. I just don't want to play it on fucking PC.
yeah, but
That's
see-
it.
and
It's
that's
dead. PC gaming's dead.
First of all,
not- I know.
Second of all,
You can boo me. That's fine.
I think these experience sucks. Again, like if you're talking a couple hours or something, maybe there's some limitation that I would agree with that we've experienced in the past. Whether it's a subscription or you paid more or whatever, as any at-large community of people that can play a product like this, read the book early, whatever it is, I think it sucks, man. I hate it as a consumer experience.
Thank you for making that point. We don't obviously need to beat a dead horse here, but like I appreciate that you brought up something that I think should resonate with all of us as gamers, that like it like breaks that community excitement for launch day when we all can't talk about it together. Because
Yeah.
I have a Discord channel where I have some of the What's Good fans who are now talking about playing it, and I have to like mute all the notifications, and I can't share that excitement with them.
Yeah, and it sucks.
Because they're
It
all
makes you
playing
feel-
it on PC and I'm not.
Do you think the argument behind EA closed doors and I would assume I'm sure BioWare just wants the game out to everybody, don't get me wrong, but I mean even them when they were looking at this on a spreadsheet, is the argument you think that all right, cool, that you missed the community day one experience, but this is a game we're building that we want to be played for 3 years or whatever?
Oh yeah, of course. And quite frankly, this is probably better for them from a tech standpoint, so that they're only managing server load for one platform.
Wade
and it
into the
kind of
water
like,
first, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of like lets them get their feet underneath them for the console push that's going to come next weekend, right? So I think that's from that standpoint alone, I think they're probably actually grateful for that
Oh, yeah,
exclusive
sure.
period. But
There's other ways
Yeah.
to do that without, making it so exclusive. But
correct, I agree.
anyway, it really bothers me. And whatever, even
Well,
if
go
it
home and
costs-
keep being part of the problem as you play
exactly.
for it.
Yeah,
you
you
pay
come
for the
check
play.
me out, Twitch TV FM3_. I'm playing early on. But yeah, I'm obviously enjoying
Keep
playing
being
it.
part
but
of the
not-
problem. Ain't that the truth?
Actually, that is same
That's what we
irony.
all do. We bitch and moan and we just give them the extra money.
But
Whatever.
no, but
fucking-
like irony is like I actually am really dreading that I'm playing it a week early, and there's a bunch of people who don't want to watch. And
Oh, sure, yeah.
it sucks. Like I would rather be playing Tetris 99.
Fuck yeah, you
and
would.
So do it.
Apex.
do
So
it.
do it.
Be a man.
I can't. I gotta
Return
stay
your copy.
Gotta stay. Return my copy. I'm out of the game. Anyway, so thank you for going over that, Tim.
Andrea,
Yes.
Metro Exodus.
Yes.
I've been
Tim's.
wondering.
Okay, so I'm about I think a third of the way through the game because I didn't bring a console with me to DICE. I am absolutely loving this game. So I was really excited for it. I feel like it's a game that's really kind of flown under the radar. Many people not familiar with the Metro series, both in video games and the literary series as well. So 4A is the developer, Deep Silver is the publisher for this game. I got to play it back at Judges Week when Greg and I went to an event there, and it was rough. chuckles.
Yeah.
The build was pretty
Rough
broken.
chuckles?
Yes.
When was this?
Never heard that.
Judges Week.
Judges Week.
Pre
okay.
E3, so back
Almost
in
a
May.
year ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was really the build needed a lot of work, and so I had some frank conversations with some of the people that were there, and was just like, "Hey, I came into this event really pumped, and a lot of the judges here don't even know what Metro is," and I was
Yeah.
like trying to convince them to give it a second
Yeah.
shot, and they clearly did a lot of work to fix pretty much all of the problems that I had with the build there. And so for people who aren't familiar with the Metro series, it is survival, suspense, first-person shooter with a lot of really great narrative elements that give you some moral choices within the game. It's not as extensive as something you would find in a BioWare game, but there are some choices that have, and you can lose your comrades along the way. So you play Artyom, who is the lead protagonist for the whole series, and you are finally exiting the metro after being underground for several years, 20 years, I think. That's why it's called Exodus. Because you need to go out and see like what's left of humanity on the surface, because you've been down in the metro to protect yourself from not only the nuclear fallout but also the ongoing war, the whole reason that there was fallout in the first place, and then of course all these mutant creatures and these other paranormal creatures that are in the world because of the radiation. And it had some really great set pieces, both narratively and gameplay wise. So the franchise previously was pretty linear. You would have a few really small like exploration sections, but now they've expanded that like tenfold. The areas that you get to explore now are massive, and there's a lot of reasons that you want to go and explore them. It's not as in depth of an exploration as like a Breath of the Wild. I want to be clear about what the kind of open world exploration it is, but you will be rewarded for seeing something in the distance, like a building, and being like, oh, I wonder what's in there. Spoilers, there's enemies in there that you have to kill, and then you get a piece of gear. But
You got to play it early. You ruined it.
what I love about what they've done with it is that the game looks beautiful. The graphics look great. It still has that really kind of like gritty feel that the franchise is known for. Like just some of the underground sections where you have to use the flashlight on your helmet and the way that they've done the shadows and the lights, and then bringing out your lighter and burning away the cobwebs in these underground tunnel sections. It's that part of Metro is still very much there. So for people who are maybe worried that Metro lost its
That's the suspense
a little bit of its
part.
identity, that's not the case. It's absolutely there, and they've just added things to maybe entice people who have never played before. And so I was selling this to Britt because she's such a survival horror fan, and she had never played Metro. I said, well, it's a little bit more action focused than your traditional survival horror, but they've really incorporated a lot of really great elements to kind of scratch that itch for people who want that really tough gameplay experience. So I started my playthrough on normal because I wanted to see what, the mainline experience was like. And then once I got to spring, because the game is kind of sectioned off into seasons as you go through the story, which is, I think, just the second season. So maybe I'm a little bit earlier than I thought. I dropped it back down to easy because I was just like, okay, I played the hard way for me. And there's also two more difficult difficulty levels above normal. I can't remember what the names of them are, but what I love about the survival elements is that you really have to think about your strategy when going into combat encounters, because even though they've upgraded the crafting abilities, say you have a backpack now that you can do some light crafting on the fly, but you can only craft one kind of ammo and you get to carry 3 kinds of guns. So you have to be really careful about where you're using ammo for those other ones, because are you going to be able to pick it up somewhere in the world? Maybe not, maybe, because you can only craft it at like the home base. And so I thought that was a really interesting way to kind of give people an opportunity to make combat a little easier, but also make you have to make real choices. And also the mask mechanic is back. So obviously nuclear fallout, there are sections where there's radiation. You have to put your mask on. You have to be changing your filters on your mask. You have a countdown timer on your watch. And so if you're down exploring an area that has a lot of radiation, you have to be really mindful of not wasting too much time just kind of dicking around looking at stuff, right? Because you have to manage the filters in your mask.
They
And
sent us a mask and said, don't put it on. Kevin read that after he put it on.
oh, wait, it says don't put it on?
Yeah.
It's for display only.
It was
So we
an
did
old
get that
radioactive
package.
mask.
Yeah, we got it. And it had this weird voice modifier thing. And like,
Wait,
it
why
made-
would you put it on? Why would you not put it on?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was an intended thing, but like when Kevin was talking, it sounded insane. Do we still have it, Barrett?
I
you
don't
should
know
put
where
it
it
on
is,
it.
but I
Nothing
think
was
it's
thrown
around.
away in this office. I'm sure it's still around.
Yeah.
Bonum's wearing it in the back.
Oh God.
So the gameplay feels good. The guns feel really good. They've added like a variety of enemy types, so it doesn't feel like super samey when you're having these encounters. There's a day and a night cycle, so certain kinds of enemies are stronger during the day, certain enemies are stronger at night.
moon.
So you really have to be strategic about which bases you're going to attack when. And it's just
Sounds like I dig it.
Yeah, like the way that they've done the sound design in particular. So I finally downloaded the Dolby Atmos app
Hell yeah, you
for
did.
Xbox One, and
Those headphones,
wow,
man.
it really changed the experience. And so Metro Exodus on Xbox One X has a special Dolby Atmos setting in the sound options. And so I put my headphones on, and it is terrifying to go out at night in the world of Metro and listen to all of the monsters and all the different sounds that are around. Because there's this one enemy type, the Watchmen, I think they're called, or the Watchers, that travel in packs. And so if you see one and you can like quickly and silently kill it, you can be okay. But if it sees you move at all, it howls immediately, and then like a whole like pack of them come, and like the sounds they make, it's just like you just have to run.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Really, because like trying to fight off a whole pack is almost impossible. So it's I've just been really enjoying my time with it, and narratively, I love how you get to know all of the different individual members on this Spartan Ranger team. So our team is leading this team. You're on a train, the Aurora, which is a mainstay throughout the narrative as you're taking this train across Russia, trying to find other people to like rekindle civilization with. And you get to know each and every one of them. They like all have their little special place on the train. You get to have individual conversations with them. Some of them will send you out to get an item. They'll be like, hey, if you happen to see this thing when you're out in the world and you bring it back for me, that'd be really cool. It reminded me a lot of the loyalty missions of Mass Effect about, you know, getting to have these bonds with these different crewmates. And I'm really looking forward to playing more this weekend, but really liking it.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I'm glad it came together because that was our thing. Yeah, Judge
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know about this one. And yeah, it's cool that it's there.
Yeah, I've had a couple issues with the game freezing in specific spots where I've had to hard close it and then reopen it.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that to the dev team when they sent me pre-release code, but I have not installed the new patch that came out today on launch day, which is obviously Friday for everyone listening to the show on Monday. So I don't know how that's improved it, but I so far haven't had nearly the problems that we had way back then. But
Okay, great. That's
that
awesome.
of course was several months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
As to be
That's great that because I remember at Judges Week everyone was really down on it. So
Yeah.
Reviews
Yeah.
seem to be good for it.
No, good. I haven't seen anything about it yet.
But Greg,
Yeah. Hey, how are you?
you haven't been playing Metro.
No, I haven't.
Because of a little game called Tetris 99.
Oh, you mean God? Because Kevin and I have found it in Tetris 99.
It's so good.
Really?
I love it.
Yeah, you
No, I
really
tried to
fuck you,
download.
friend.
No, I just mean that.
Whoa.
I mean, it's
This
Tetris,
escalated
right?
quickly.
I'm very curious. Like as a Tetris game, you like. I feel like I know what to expect.
Say
Do
some shit
you?
about Tetris right now.
Yeah, well,
Do
say
it.
some shit about
Do
what do
it.
you expect
Say
from
it.
Tetris
I love
99?
Tetris.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you
do.
very
It's
much.
the 99th
I love
Tetris game,
Tetris.
in fact.
No, it's
It's
not.
not true.
Somebody fact check it. It might be
definitely-
true.
Somebody's not.
I
would be
urge
awesome.
you to fact check it. Yeah, so I was what I had been playing on my, and I'll talk about it later, I know. But Way, Journey into the Unexpected, that cute first person hit everybody with a stick game we did at the Kind of Funny Game Showcase. I started that and was playing through that, and I intended to finish it at DICE on downtime or on planes. And then when we got to DICE and we're working, and then I came out of another game I'll talk about in a second of a demo, and I looked at my phone and there was all this stuff happening with the new Zelda game and obviously Mario Maker 2.
Killer
and
Nintendo
then
Direct.
Tetris 99, and I was like, what is this? And it was like, we were talking on Slack, and it was like, oh, it's Battle Royale Tetris. I'm like, oh, that's fucking really cool. And I went into Twitter, saw it, went to quote tweet it of, I can't fucking wait. And then I saw that it was like out now. I was like, I got back on Slack. I was like, wait, it's out fucking now? And I ran right to the hotel room and didn't see anybody till I went on stage for Dice Awards because I sat there playing Tetris 99. It is awesome. It is so much fun. I am dying to play it right now.
Can you explain to me how it works? Because I was
Well,
in like a DICE wormhole and
yeah.
didn't see
Yeah, me
like
too. I
any
was
of the
just busy. I
Nintendo
didn't get to-
announcements.
So
I haven't seen any
the
gameplay at
joke
all.
is that it's Battle Royale Tetris, where
Okay.
it's you versus 98 other people.
So, but how does that work?
Is it a joke? Like it's.
I mean, it's
actually
it's not exact. I mean, like
Yeah.
you're not. Like, there's not like a circle or stuff
But
like
this
that.
is what I was getting at before. It's like that's why I'm like, oh, it's Tetris. I love Tetris.
Yeah.
And there's 99 of you now.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're gonna do stuff that puts pieces in your. Okay, I get all that.
Yeah.
What makes it sort of so special? Because what I don't understand is how 99.
Yeah.
98 players
Sure.
pieces are flying at you.
Exactly.
What makes it
so the
unique,
idea
you know?
is that obviously when you're looking at your Switch screen, you are the main Tetris area right there, right? And then on the side you have the other 98 games being played, and it's not.
Do they
like,
just like show up or something?
No, they're all there, put up in little windows on little rows, so
You
you
get Tetris?
see every game happening.
What? Okay.
And so you see them falling. You see people start to get in trouble and like getting too close to the top. on your right stick, you decide who you want to attack. So you can leave it on random.
Okay.
You can then have it switch to switch to go to KOs where you're trying to knock people out. Switch to go for badges, which I'll explain in a second, or then go down to attackers.
That was the piece. So you can attack people or
Right. Then if you really want to, and I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there in terms of my expertise, you can individually go choose who you want to attack as well, which gets key. Because that's all happening, right? So on top of that, Barrett's going to pull up some Tetris 99 on Twitch so we can see what's happening. On top of that, right, the idea is that, yes, you're sending your junk over, right? You clear a line, that sends a line over to somebody else, right? When you're playing, you have a side column over here that shows things dropping over there so you can see when somebody's coming to attack you. You have a certain amount of time to clear a line to negate that, right? And then it goes up and it goes down. As you knock people out, you then earn badges that then escalate a percentage down in your lower right-hand corner, right? So 25, 50, 75. What that is doing is making your attacks more powerful. So if I send a line to someone at 25 instead of whatever it is, the funny thing about this, I urge everyone to go to Kotaku. Kotaku has a great article that is basically, hey, Tetris 99 is awesome. Tetris 99 has no tutorial. So here's what you need to actually understand about this.
Okay.
And so that'll then, it's like right down there, as if you're an audio listener, this doesn't help, but you were watching YouTube Let's Play right now, but you see that 000 percentage up. Yeah, giant bomb. It'll send it over and do it. So right now you can go through and target all these people. The flashing thing down there in the lower right, that little pentagon, that's who you're currently attacking, who you'd be going up against.
So what's this watch out situation?
That means that person is now targeting you. And so you can be targeted by multiple people. And then on top of that, when you get going, and if you're doing really well, you get the knockouts, which get the badges, which then up your percentage, which send over more junk, right?
And see, so it like flashes red when they're really close to the top.
Okay.
So you
Yeah.
get points for knocking someone out, obviously. So
It's not even points, yeah, but it's you send your junk. This is all about moving the junk as fast as you can to other people. But then the problem is that as you earn these badges and knock out more people, hence where suddenly you either want to leave it like I do. I try to, when I'm playing for the most part, leave it up on KOs so that I'm getting people to get the badges. Then my attacks are more powerful. So it's that thing of right now you see down the left where I was talking about, like the left line there. It's now completely empty, but next time somebody's there, that little block just popped up. There's a certain amount of time to make a line. There you go. That'll knock it out or whatever. As you go on, they get harder to knock out.
those
and stuff
are
like that.
what is that? Wait, what is that meter on the left that's filling up?
That is who's sending junk to you.
Oh, but if that meter fills up all the way, what
I mean,
happens?
you're about to get fucking
it just
bombarded.
represents-
You're about to get bombarded with lines. That shows how many lines you're about to get. Those completely gray lines at
that's
the
right,
bottom are lines that are from somebody sending junk over.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I see. So it pushes your tetraminos up underneath you.
Yeah, exactly. And so like when it gets down
That's
to
interesting.
crazy, it's your top 5 or whatever in the
see
top
it-
10, you'll get a whole bunch, and it can go from you're totally good to it gets dropped and you do it, game over. Yeah.
So Greg, have
see
you
it
gotten
now,
first yet?
I have not gotten first. Currently, my highest place. Have you gotten first, Barrett? Yeah, thank you. My highest place is now third.
Third.
That's still really high.
Kevin's got it too,
good.
right?
I've gotten second twice.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, when you get down to the top 2,
The stress.
it
I
is
bet.
so stressful.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
I hate it. Tim, Mike Quinn from IGN. 6 wins on day 1.
Really?
Wow.
didn't
I
know he
don't
was a Tetris
understand.
master.
Some
I
people
wanna
have
watch
the
it
brain
play.
for Tetris.
Totally.
I don't at all.
Tetris has always been that. Like I've talked about. I know with Tetris Effect last year, so I won't beat a dead horse here. But I always thought I was good at Tetris, and then I was holy shit, I'm really great at Luminous. I understand Luminous really, and I love Luminous. Still do. Tetris Effect was that one of like, oof. Now that it's all online, and I see all my friends playing. Like, no, I am not that. Like Justin Massagill is like a beautiful mind shit with Tetris. You know what I mean? And so like that was my concern here of jumping in. I'm like, ooh, is this going to be like Effect where it's like really hard to keep going or not keep going, but compete really? And it isn't. It isn't. I have it's a lot like Fortnite, right? Where if you run it, or I guess Apex or anybody, where you run into somebody who's way better and they're 360 no scope sniper headshot,
yeah.
whatever. But there's the games here where I'm competitive until the very end and then blow it out. And honestly, I'm very excited to be home because this is like the first time in a while where I pack the Switch and I'm like, I'm just tinkering with stuff. I'm not gonna bring a pro controller. And so then trying to do it all handheld, I like so many times my fat fingers have hit the wrong thing when I didn't mean to. I'm like excited to just have it on the pro controller. Just play it all weekend long on there.
Awesome.
Go, full blown.
That's exciting.
It's honestly, it's so good.
It's a free game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Yeah, it's free with the subscription.
Yeah.
oh, it's free for Nintendo because I already have it.
So you have to have the Nintendo Online subscription to get it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Can you buy it without it? I don't know. No, yeah,
That's a
we
good
all
point,
have
yeah.
it. So yeah, I didn't.
Oh, so it's an
yeah.
exclusive game
Good
for
po-
their
yeah.
subscription.
We're not sure
Well,
about that part.
When you go to the eShop, it's there and it says free if you
Yeah,
have it.
see,
It's
I have the
not in
subscription.
it's not in the Nintendo Online where the NES games are. That's where I went to look for it.
Wait, do you
Originally,
have
I was
the
like, oh, it's
subscription?
not there, and so I bounced out. He's making a call back to the earlier show, and so I went back to the store and it was there. It just said free. So I was like, oh, I think it might be there, maybe to be bought if you don't have it, but I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Bear, can
so
you
it's
fact check
not-
around on that?
I'm looking.
Free.
It just says free download.
Okay, then
says
it's just
free.
a way to. It's just a game and a bonus for that.
But you have to have Nintendo Online, right?
Sure.
We believe.
Yeah.
But, yeah
The
it's funny
free to
'cause we all
download
do,
online
so-
software is available as a special offer for Nintendo Switch Online members. That's all
Okay.
it says.
So it's not
It's totally
quite
worth
free
it.
to play. So it's a subscription game.
Well,
It's kinda
doesn't
like
don't the Battle
Apex.
Royale games require
Yeah.
you to have
Online.
Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation
No,
Plus?
I mean not on obviously on PC and mobile phone. And you,
That's true.
But-
That's a good point.
meaning the online services, I get what you're getting at, but no, those are truly free to play. This one is
Nintendo's
a
what,
subscription.
$20 a year?
$20
Right?
a
No,
year.
I'm not saying it's
Could
a
be
lot.
less
By the way.
if
Just
you got a
meaning
family
it's
plan.
not yet.
Yeah.
It's not a free game.
I forget
You
it.
can't, you can't download it on PC or anything. Then, right?
Is Fortnite? Do you need PSN or PlayStation Plus in Xbox Live Gold? Because they make exceptions for
I
certain
think
stuff.
you don't for Battle Royale, but you do for Save the World. But I would need to
oh,
fact
you
check
have
that
to-
too.
that
You have
sounds
to
right.
go to the store still to download it, and I don't think you can access the store without going.
Yeah, you can.
No,
You can buy
you
games
can.
digitally if you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have a PlayStation ID, but you don't have to have PlayStation
Yeah.
Plus.
From what I am reading right here from
That's what you do.
epicgames.com/Fortnite/FAQ, you
Thank
do
you. Thank
need
you very much.
Xbox Live Gold in order to play Fortnite Battle Royale on Xbox, but you do not need PS Plus in order to play Fortnite.
Gold?
So that was a deal that they did with PlayStation then.
Yeah.
Is that? I don't have gold, but I've been able to play with Fortnite
Xbox?
on Xbox. I was playing Xbox.
You don't have a
exclusively.
subscription?
Are you sure you don't have gold?
Well, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Kev. We passed that codes before.
My gold just
all
ran
renews,
out, and my Apex doesn't work.
Yeah,
Sure.
For a lot of those, I don't know.
That's really
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
Fake gamer.
It's very
boy.
exciting though. I
Wait,
didn't
Tim, are
expect
you
the
not
Tetris
interested at
Battle
all in
Royale.
Tetris 99? You're not gonna.
I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna play it a couple times on a plane. But like, I'm
Dude.
just not good at
Can't-
Tetris.
no, but
can't play it on a plane.
You can't because you're online. That's right.
Can I talk to you
then I'm
about a
not
game,
gonna-
Tim, that you might be interested
Yes,
in that I
please
got to
do.
see at Dice?
Can you go grab
Wait,
my Switch? I want to see
before
my
you tell me
stats.
about that, let me
Okay.
See
tell
my
you
normal part of my bag.
that this episode is brought to you by Hims and Movement. This episode of the Kind of Funny Gamescast is brought to you by Movement. We've been talking about Movement watches for years, Movement sunglasses, the whole thing. Greg Miller and I, we don't go anywhere without our Movement sunglasses. We love them. Gia Harris, girlfriend of mine, love her very deeply. We just had our 4-year anniversary. Guess what I got her? I got her a Movement sunglasses set because she loves them. She always needs more of them, and she's always looking damn good, damn cute in them. She also loves her watches and all that stuff. Cool Greg wears his gold one all the time. You've probably seen it, and that's the thing. They have so many different styles. You can go to the website, customize, you get the different faces, get the different colors. Super easy and also super affordable. Movement watches start at just $95. You're looking at $400 to $500 for the same quality from traditional brands. Clean design, minimal, really quality products. Movement has sold almost 2 million watches in over 160 countries. You can join those numbers. You too can know what time it is. Get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/kinda. Movement's launching new styles on their site all the time. Check out their latest at mvmt.com. Go to mvmt.com/kinda. Join the movement. Also, shout out to Hims for sponsoring this episode. 66% of men lose their hair by age 35. The thing is, when you start to notice the hair loss, it's too late. It's easier than ever to keep the hair you have, it's easier to keep the hair you have than to replace the hair you've lost. Andy and Nick have both been using this for a while. They've been loving the results. They love the gummies that they always get. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical grade solutions to treat hair loss. They're well-known generic equivalents to name brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. No snake oil, pills, or gas station counter supplements. Prescription solutions backed by science. There's no waiting room, no awkward visits with anybody. It's all sent to you. You can order now. Listeners of this show can get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today. Right now, while supplies last. You can see the website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/kinda. That's FORHIMS.com/kinda. Forhims.com/kinda.
Did you? Oh.
Yes, now you can tell me.
Oh, okay. So did you hear about Audica?
I did.
So
Beat Saber with
That
guns.
What?
looks dope.
yes.
Did you see this yet,
Harmonic.
Chris?
No, I
So-
haven't
Oh
seen
my
this
God.
yet.
Yeah, you were. Oh.
So I've
You're
known
gonna be
Alex
excited,
Rodopoulos for a long time. Obviously, he and John, my husband, worked together for many years at Harmonix on Rock Band and Dance Central and a variety of other titles. And so he invited us to come and see the game. And they showed it to a couple other people at DICE as well. And
What was it called again?
Audica.
Okay.
So Audica. They're calling it a VR rhythm music shooter. And
yes.
it's coming to early access in March for Oculus Rift and I believe Vive. I'm looking at the press release here. And if you guys remember, a couple of years back,
This looks cool, man.
so we're watching the trailer now. So I got to play this, and it looks.
Oh, you got to play it?
Yeah, I got to play.
What?
Yeah.
Was that dice?
Yeah, well, it was
Sort
like
of.
it was sort of.
It was
at
in a
DICE.
hotel
You had to
but
know
still.
somebody to
Just
know
still-
somebody.
Yeah. So the last time Harmonix showed a game at DICE, it was Chroma, the game that's obviously been canceled for quite some time now. And who better to make a rhythm shooter than Harmonix?
Hell yeah.
And I got to play Pop Stars in it.
That's fantastic.
And it was super fun, and I was very proud that I did such a good job on my first tryout. Even Alex was like, "Hey, that's one of the best scores we have today." And then just for funsies, we put it on expert mode, and it got wild.
That's
They've always been
awesome.
so good with
And
that
so, what's really great about what you're seeing in the gameplay here is the
Can you pull it up and show him, Barrett?
the
you.
diamond ones are where you hold down the triggers on the controllers for the guns. The circles is just a tap. Those disco balls that fly at you, you have to punch them out, and then you have the ones with the tails that you have to draw. So you have all these different mechanics. Plus, there are ones where you have to turn the guns sideways, and then turn them vertical, and then turn them sideways.
Oh, really?
yeah.
And so when it gets into the really
That's cool.
fast-paced stuff, you're punching the disco balls, you're going sideways, you're drawing.
That looks so awesome.
It was
I love
really
it.
cool. And so I'm excited to see what their final song list is going to be. If you go to the Harmonix Twitter, they've announced some of the licensed music that is already going to be in the game.
Licensed stuff. Awesome.
And hopefully, it's going to be coming to other VR platforms eventually, but they are launching in early access on Oculus and Vive, I believe.
Did they say when?
March.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
That's really cool looking, yeah.
Yeah, here are the first
March
5.
7th. Yeah, to Oculus Home and Steam for Vive. Early access.
First 5 for him.
It's funny. I don't know all of them. So do you you want to read those?
You got 1788 Ellen Blanky doing Destiny, my favorite song. Allison Wonderland doing I Want You. Donna Summer doing I Feel Love, the Afrojack remix. James Egbert, The Space. Savant Splinter. I'll tell you, I don't know any of those.
I don't know.
But I know
Afrojack.
Pop Stars.
But they linked to the playlist on Spotify.
To be
which
fair,
is cool.
I don't know if Pop Stars was just in the demo for the sake of the demo or if it's
Yeah.
going to make the final track
I
list.
slowly did
I
that.
hope it does. If it's
Yeah.
coming to Steam and Vive, I don't
Yeah,
know why
yeah.
it wouldn't. But
Exciting.
That's great. Next up, let's talk a little bit about Division 2.
Oh yeah.
You've been
Agent.
doing the private beta.
Yeah, I got to play the private beta. That's right. I don't know how much you guys got to play at the event of maybe whatever was the final game versus the private beta. In the private beta, they let you play up to about level 7. But then you could play end game and
Yeah.
choose any of the specialists.
That's what we
So,
did.
Same
Yeah.
type. Okay, so you basically
yeah, well,
played that.
that was the content we played at the preview event that Greg and I were at together. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I don't know that we've really had a chance to talk about it in detail. Just like the world is really cool. It is such a different type of game, though. So many people keep asking me the same thing, like, well, I don't know how to play Destiny or that. I'm like, honestly, they're so different. It's a duck and cover shooter. It's more statistical. There's tons of numbers. There's tons of stuff to craft and get into. But it's just such a gritty, real world, despite the fact that they are still very much bullet sponges. I think the feel is good.
They always
though.
do that thing, right, where they're mashing it up, where it is an RPG.
It is an
doing
RPG.
Yeah, right. So you're
Of
doing all
course it
sorts of
takes
damage.
forever, 'cause
Yeah.
you have to strategize, and there's a dude running around, and it's going to take you 5 minutes to take them down on hard mode, which I was doing, by the way. It took me 90 minutes to do the end game mission for the first time, but still, I was
Yeah.
playing with a pretty good group, and I was like, oh my god, this is rough, but it was fun. So anyway, I'm totally digging it.
I can't fucking wait.
It is like the thing that I just keep telling people. I'm like, if you like the Division and played, hopefully after they did the updates, I really think you're gonna like this one based on what I've seen. It's a little early, but it's very different, and I just don't feel like you should compare them really to Destiny and Anthem. And so I'm excited.
Yeah,
still.
they're not. They're apples and oranges for sure.
So much duck and
Yeah.
cover shooting. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but that's one of the primary mechanics. is
Exactly,
that
it's okay.
You have to use cover. If you don't, you
Yeah,
die.
Yeah, you're
die
fucked. And you
immediately.
have to have a strategy, and you have to communicate
Yeah.
and move people around and get into positions.
One thing I noticed, and I don't know if I missed it in more of the current, I almost called it Destiny, some of the current Division updates, the first one, but man, they've done a lot of detail with like the drone work and stuff. Like you can have a drone with all this ability, and you can now target points, right? On enemies, I think you can target like individual points.
That's an upgradable thing within the drone.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think you could use to do it. So there's like some
I don't think you could do that
ton
in
of
Division
depth.
2.
And again, if you
Or
weren't
Division
keeping track, there weren't specialists in the last one. These are class types that you can unlock and earn in the end game, right?
Yeah, so you have the
Right.
the demolitionist, the survivalist, and
Like a sniper, a grenade launcher, and a crossbow. That's
the
what I
crossbow
remember.
is the survivalist, the grenade launcher is the demolitionist, and it's the
Specialist
sniper that I'm missing
I
the
think
name
specialist is right.
on. I think specialist is the name for all three of them.
Oh,
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you're
a
right.
specialist at the end. You pick one.
Well,
right?
anyway,
I think I have
the,
these
the
in my
sniper
notes.
is the third one, but there's those three classes.
Yeah.
But that's going to be stuff to grind for, is the point, which you didn't have as much as they want. So I
Well, I mean,
I'm-
that's the
I'm
whole
stoked.
point. I mean, why I think they're doing so much right and learn from everything they learned, right? And they talk to us.
Sharpshooter.
They talk to us
That's
at
what
the
it is.
event about, right? Is the idea that all the stuff they've patched in over the years of Division 1 is available here day one, right? Like all the different kinds of modes and missions you'd expect. On top of that, when you get there and you get to be a specialist now, choose your specialist, you're also now getting, what is it, Black Tusk or whatever? Like
Is the new faction. yeah.
a
Add
new
the ending,
faction
right.
gets added to the world that like changes the world now. So it's not even how it used to be for you and me, where it was like, cool, we've beat everything, and now we're 20 hours later from beating everything, and we're just running through the streets, just
Yeah.
clowning out everything. No, now in our world, Black Tusk invades and is there to actually
Yeah, it
slow
changes
your
the
progression.
Well,
give you
and what's
munitions.
interesting about Black Tusk is that they're billing them as the most technologically advanced faction that you've ever faced. So what that means is all of the special gadgets that you've been using throughout your
Yeah.
campaign in the Division 2, they are now going to start using against you.
Yes.
So they're going to have drones. They're going to have
I
secret
know,
mines.
that's exactly what happened.
You know what I mean? And when we were playing in the end game, we didn't get to play too much because we both had to leave the event a little early. Like, it was really intense.
Yeah.
Like, I had a really tough time with
Yeah.
it.
DC
That's why I
such a
played
cool
on hard
setting.
mode. Oh, and we should talk about that. Yeah, the torrential downpours
Yeah.
and the hazy summer. I really dig.
Hell yeah. Like your home base being the White House.
The White
That's like
House.
so fucking cool.
So
That's yeah.
cool as
Yeah,
hell.
yeah.
I had two important questions, maybe starting with you, Greg, because this was over Anthem. Now I am going to draw the comparison, but it was on your top 5 list at the beginning of the year, I think, right?
Division 2 for like
It was your
excitement.
number one.
Oh,
wasn't
Division
it?
2's by
That's
far,
right.
far and away was my
Anthem
number
was
one.
my number one.
Yeah.
Now that maybe you've seen more and played, like, why is it or was it your number one? Do you still feel that way with
I mean, it's,
everything that's
you
going
know
on?
as well as I do that like we just love the Division. I loved
Yeah.
the Division,
Oh, yeah,
and that's
I
the
do.
thing is like I'm just so stoked to get in there, and I can't wait to unlock new tank tops and build out get new boots and do all like
beard, the sunglasses,
exactly all
yeah.
the stupid cosmetic garbage in there and run around that world and explore again and find the collectibles. Division 1 did such a great job with like remember where it would be like. All right, the thing I loved about Division 1, and I'm talking bare bones vanilla Division 1 before they added everything in, it was that idea of like, you know how much downtime there is in a multiplayer game like this. So it is like you and me are doing something, but then Ty wants to join, but Ty's looking for a mic, but he's in the group. So we're just sitting around and it was like, cool, I'm going to run over there. And I'd run over there and start doing those audio diaries. And like, you know, remember how they'd like,
Oh, yeah,
they'd
the
piece you
echoes
together.
and
Cell
everything.
phones? Those are
Yeah, and it
back,
would get
yeah.
you like these awesome little
Oh, you were
stories and things.
you're freaking platinums, and you're right.
Fuck yeah, I platinum.
I'd be like, Greg, where are you? He's like, don't worry about it. I'm just grabbing them. I'm like,
Let's grab some tropes.
Yeah.
yeah. I was just like, I should follow him, but I don't have the patience to collect all that. You did. You loved it.
Well, that's what for me always works so well about Division 1 compared to a Destiny or compared to an Anthem is that similar to how I hate space or like the joke about me hating space, right? Having it be grounded in the streets of New York and now the streets of DC and like we're using real guns and quotes, you know what I mean? Like it's all real. Like that makes it so infinitely more interesting to me. Of like, I want to
it's
engage
Tom
in that
Clancy's The Division, right? So I think it's important to
What people have to
remember
remember.
that there's like a much broader narrative structure set up, and so it's easier to get more attached or more immersed because the narrative is fleshed out so much more. And now they have the comics that, of course, are bridging the Division 2 narratively for people who are super into all of the lore that's happening in that world.
Yeah, it's for me. I'm excited because that is the game that I love in the gameplay. I love of I'm gonna sign on and be able to run through it and play. Like here, I think it's a great example of like why I'm not so stoked to play Apex Legends. Right, the gameplay is amazing and it's awesome stuff, but I just hate talking to people sometimes. You know what I mean?
You need to strategize.
When I jumped on that first time and it was like, I'm like, all right, trios, fuck, okay,
Ping system, baby.
Random people, all right, whatever, this is fine. Division, I love the idea, and I loved in Division 1. I think I'm gonna love Division 2 of like, cool, I'm booting up and I'm jumping in and I'm playing shit and this, Fran signed on. You want to do something? Let's run some shit for a while. Great, you're bouncing. I'm gonna stay. Let a best friend in. Do this kind of thing. Like
one of the things that I hope that they find a way to address, though, is how to do enemy scaling when you want to play with friends that are significantly higher level than you. Because I remember when Kevin and I tried to play, I had been playing for a while and he was on his character, which was lower level than me. And so when I went in there, it scaled the enemies up to a point where he couldn't even get shots off. Yeah. If he ever came out of cover, he would just die instantly. So it was really tough for us to play together. I actually had to leave his game so that he
So
he could go.
No, Division 1.
Division 1.
I think they did fix it. So when I was playing, I'm not sure, and because we haven't had enough time with it in the beta, because I had this very conversation where some people were taking me into slightly later, towards level 7, but I was only level whatever, and I was like, well, wait, then where does that put me? And I thought they had confirmation of this, but it was something like they were going to level 7, I was like 4, but supposedly it brings you up to 6, actually. So it puts you pretty much right there.
It gives you that buff.
Based on the highest player in the group. So I don't know how that works, like if you're a level, 10 playing with a level 30, but I think it brings you up to 29 for that game. It brings everybody
for that
up,
session, I
believe. And also with the Dark Zone too, that's the big thing. It's all neutral, right? It's based on what guns you have, but you're all the same level. So I think they may have fixed it.
Interesting.
But that's what I had understood.
It's like, how does that affect gear drops? And
it did feel that way, by the way. I can say I don't have confirmation that's how it worked.
Yeah.
They said it, and when I played, I said, oh yeah, it feels like I'm not getting stomped on. I'm definitely like a little under-geared, but I didn't feel underpowered.
Yeah.
Another question I did want to ask, though, in contrast to this. So, Greg, I think you hit the nail on the head about what does make the Division so special, but also what I think makes my next question so special. What makes the Division 2 so special is that it is gritty, it's real, you want to rock your real beard and maybe make it like you or whatever. You want to be a fictional person, but sort of in our
I play
world.
as Kara.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, wait.
You remember? That's
right. You
Kara
do
with the
play
big
as
sunglasses. Get out of here.
Who played with the beard and glasses? I played with
Probably
somebody else.
every
that
other
looked,
dude.
You know what's funny? I think I played with one of the best friends that was looked like you.
Oh,
They made you.
It's really hard to find a white guy with black rim glasses and a beard
Exactly.
talking about video games.
That's probably Scott Lowe.
Probably that 100%. It was probably Scott.
It was
Lowe.
just Scott Lowe. But anyway, it honestly it does make it cool and being in DC, which I've never been, and I was like, damn,
really?
I kind of felt like I needed to go. It's amazing. I know, I'm a commie. So my question though is, I got a lot of people that come in and they kind of played the first one and they just keep saying, they're like, I don't know, it looks the same, man. So what do you say to that?
It's a fair comparison.
It's not new
While
enough.
there's not snow and it's not iconic New York, I mean, it's very much the same structured grids of a city where you're walking around going block to block.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, it does feel a little samey, but the environments are different, right? There's not snow on the ground anymore. You're going to have more green. The environments of DC are inherently different than New York City. So while it's still an urban city center, there's a lot more to look at.
It seemed to me too, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I missed the intro, and then just joined up on your team. There's more verticality to it than before. Like, I mean, you went up a couple stories into townhomes or whatever. I remember in this one, but like there was that one thing before we got to the White House, or I think maybe after you guys did, but that like one base where it was like a bunch of scaffoldings that we went all the way up, and there was shit happening on every floor.
Oh yeah, one of the faction like strongholds. Yeah, it was really weird to be in like Skyscraper Central and not be able to go as vertical as we could. So they clearly like fleshed that out a little bit more. I don't know like the specifics about map size. I'm sure Julian and the team have talked about that to somebody already in an interview
It always
somewhere on
sounds
the
right.
internet.
But I mean, more importantly,
But-
I think when people say that, and even me playing it, it's like, well, yeah, but it's more of that refined, which is what
Exactly.
I want.
You
Whereas
said it earlier.
When I
Mm-hmm.
sat down, like I said, I was running late because of Games Daily, and I got there and I'd missed the intro part, and I just got a controller like right after they finished it, and so I jumped in and immediately knew what I was doing, was vaulting over stuff, running into cover, like reloading my weapons, went in and chose, like it all felt like home. It felt like coming home.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It doesn't feel super different, but that's the thing. It's not trying to. If you didn't like what Division had to offer after the quality of life improves, because they really refined a lot. I feel like most people, not most. That's the wrong word. A lot of people had only played in the first 6 months, I guess, of release.
I would say most people.
A lot. Yeah, I
I
guess
mean, you talk
so.
about sales and like return,
yeah,
the
of course.
retention
There's-
rates.
I mean, that's standard though,
Super,
right?
Yeah, so super interesting. They don't realize, like, dude, it's so refined already.
Yeah.
But now they brought, and in fact, they commented on, they had DLC in the works. I think I heard this from one of you folks even, but they were like, we put that on pause for Division 1 because we said just got to work on Division 2. We got to make it right. And so they put all of that in there. So the tons of abilities, the specialist classes, huge worlds with tons more detail. That is what it is, but it is the Division.
Yeah.
And you either like that style of gameplay or not. And,
Yeah,
that's
Julian
what you should
said,
work
I
for.
have here in my notes that with the changes that they made to the Snowdrop engine and additional tools, they've attempted to recreate DC as close to 1-to-1 as ever done in any Ubisoft game.
That's really cool.
And they're dubbing the game an urban survival simulation.
Yeah, it feels like that. Except,
Totally.
the-
And that's what I want to do. I want to get in there
enemies-
and grind out the gear and get
Very
the better
powerful.
stuff. Hey, you know what? Come on.
one
You see their stuff fall off now when you shoot them, so calm down.
The one thing that I am very unhappy though that they have not fixed, because it's comical, the just audio lines, the repeated dumb
Oh,
audio
the
lines.
enemies, the AI
Yeah.
enemies that are like, I'm gonna murder you.
Yeah, they just run at you because they're all gassed up, which you're trying to explain, but they say like the same things. I feel like that's a very small touch, and I understand somewhere you cut the budget.
There better be a Joe Farrow reference in
that
this, aren't? That's
that
what I
would have
want.
gone a long way, though, if the audio dialogue from these enemies, because quite honestly, sometimes it's.
It's silly. Because
all
like,
Takes you out of it.
B-movie,
That
yeah,
sucks.
yeah.
I actually want to do a
Donald Duck.
supercut at one point of some of these lines because they're funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that. Get down.
Greg, you brought this up earlier. Away, Journey to the Unexpected.
Correct.
What are you thinking?
It's interesting.
It's unexpected.
It is. It's unexpected, right? This is the one that we put in the showcase, and we were like, "Holy shit!" When we saw it, and the audience when they saw it was like, "Holy shit!"
My favorite trailer. Of
It's
the
beautiful,
showcase.
right?
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It's not cell shaded, but it looks like that. It looks like a cartoon, right? And you're running around. It's a first person.
It kind of looks like a very pretty Minecraft, but
Sure.
it's an RPG,
Sure.
action RPG,
It's-
first person. It's a lot of things.
It is a first person, an almost dungeon crawler. It's not first person RPG, sure, but it's actually a first person roguelite. Right, where you're running around and you die and you come back and your XP's added up there and it unlocks a new thing to let you go back into the world and do it again, right? And so the idea is that like remember this is the fun trailer that had the gentleman who made it being there like it's a game where friendship is the power and that's kind of bullshit. Like you're shooting shit and hitting things with the stick and stuff, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
But yeah, throughout it, like you go into the two main areas and you run in there and like you have to get these friendship cubes that you can then have people added to your party with, and you go up to them like, oh, I'll join your party because you have the cube or whatever. They take the place of the cube. They have different abilities and their own health bars. So then you go in and after you go through and get the pieces, or basically the idea here is that you're going into dungeons to beat the boss. Before you can get in the dungeon to beat the boss, you have to run to the different mini dungeons to collect whatever pieces you need to open the door to get into the dungeon. Of course, as you play this over and over again, like the last ability I unlocked before I stopped and got caught up in Tetris was, okay, cool. From now on, I think it's the forest. Like the forest dungeon's open, so I get in there and I can just get my dudes and go run
That's
in there
cool.
and
I like
start
that.
doing it. Yeah, exactly. And that's this interesting thing about it, where I said it was interesting. Dialogue's funny. The characters you're meeting are funny and interesting. The world's beautiful. I'm gonna see it all the way through. I read reviews after because I wonder how long it was too. It's not that long. It's like I think 4 or 5 hours. It's not bad at all. The thing is, and one of the reviews put it really poignantly, right? Of like it's a game about whacking things with a stick, but the whacking isn't that fun. Like the combat isn't like great. You know what I mean? Like things come at you and like there's that thing of like we're trying to figure out the hitbox. And like, oh, okay, now I know when to hit and I'm just spamming and hitting it. So like I want to see it through and beat all the stuff, but like I don't enjoy the combat of it. So it's not like it's high. It's not like it's a priority for me to run through and do.
Is the hit detection just off, or is it actually the depth of what you can do in the combat?
It's more the hit. Well, it's not the hit detection's off. It's probably depth, I guess. Yeah, because it's like
just
trying
can
to.
only do so much?
It's just about like figuring out, especially with the basic stick weapon, of like, oh, I should swing a little bit earlier than I think, or do this, and just little things like that.
Yeah.
But again, it's just like. The combat's not engaging. I'm not having a great time with the combat as much as I am like running around the world and just shooting the shit with people and seeing what the next, when I get the XP meter filled in, what's the next bonus going to give me to go in there and do it. So it's something that I'm playing and I'm enjoying enough, but I'm definitely not like, holy shit, this lived up to the expectations we had from the trailer.
It's available on like every console ever.
Sure.
I feel like last week on Games Daily, I think I talked about it every single day coming out on a different,
nice.
different
Exactly.
system. And then
But still
finally,
charming.
Finally for today, Falcon Age.
Falcon Age, yeah.
Another game from the showcase.
The Kind of Funny Games showcase. Yeah, you've probably seen Falcon Age gifs at least going around of the bird on the arm, right, that you can pet and bob
Fist
the
bump.
head and do all this stuff. Again, always worth pointing out, Jen's working brand management, or Pop Agenda, Jen's company's working brand management on this game. So you can take it with a grain of salt.
disclosure.
No problem. I can tell you the same thing I told Eka, the guy who makes the game, right, at the end of it. I was like, man, this is cool. I've never really loved one of Jen's games. Like that she's been a part of. And that's not putting down the messenger.
full for the messenger.
It's
Now
not
we know
putting
we
down
know Jen.
it's not putting down any of the games she does, but like they're just not Greg games, if that makes sense. The messenger is like, oh cool, just not for me. Whereas this is like, oh, a cool game that can be played in PlayStation VR or played without PlayStation VR, played it both ways. Really beautiful landscapes. Interesting dialogue choices. Like I didn't, when you see the game in general from what we've seen of it, you're like, all right, cool. So I have a bird. Am I the bird? What are you doing? You're very much a person, right? And the idea is that the bird is your main tool / weapon in how you're getting through all these different things. And so I picked my demo picked up after the intro where I'm united with the bird, and then I was talking to my auntie back at camp, and she's from the Falcon Bearers or whatever, and she's like, you kind of got a shortcut here. I don't know how you feel about it. And there's all these different dialogue choices you can spin around and do to get different reactions. You'll name it. I think it's making it serious. Right? Tobias is what you're gonna call your bird. Okay, cool.
Tobias Funke.
Yeah, exactly. Blue. Just paint it. You put different hats on the bird. Different hats give it different
blue bird.
abilities. It'll make it small. It can be the baby bird. It can be the big bird. But the
big bird.
Yeah, I played in VR for the majority of the demo, and like one of the things you get is this like electric whip. So you can use it to like attach to stuff and yank down things. I was using teleportation control, but it has the entire like movement, however you want to do it. And it was interesting not knowing exactly what this game was based on trailers, other than is it like a Zen experience where I'm sending the bird around kind of thing?
It's the trailers that I remember seeing, like it did seem a bit more of like an experience game. Yeah. Less of a game, more of an experience.
It's a game in terms of like cool, like you open your inventory and then there's like, health things to feed the bird. You're going through and it's basically how like robots have taken over the, world and you have to try to fight back and get them. So like I went to the first encampment where a dude was waiting and it was like, all right, cool. You've got to go in there and liberate this and take it back over for the resistance. But there's sentry robots in there that you need to shut down these things. But if the bird flies, it's going to get shot with these needles and it'll have the needles stuck in it, and then you can bring it back to you, but then you got to pluck out the individual needles and feed it health. So it's like a strategy deal of how do I get in there, take out the robots that are attacking me, take out the things before I can take out the big robot at the top. And so it was good and interesting, and I felt when I had my aha moment of how to get around and do it, it was cool. What I found really crazy, because I've thought of it so much as a PlayStation VR game, when it was, all right, try it non-VR and popped it off and put it in, it was like, whoa, this game looks so much better as a non-VR game. Not that it looked bad as VR, but suddenly just how much sharper it was, the detail of it. Even I thought the controls felt better in non-VR, not to put it down. But
like the small lag changes.
Yeah, so it definitely jumped up my list. I was like, holy shit, I can't wait to play this. Yeah.
What platform?
What do you know when it's coming?
They say very soon, so I don't know when, but like I think very soon, sometime before summer.
Wait, what is it? Falcon what?
Falcon Age.
Falcon Age.
Yeah, AG.
Like
Just
Dragon
PS4
Age, but
and
Falcon
PSVR.
Age.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But no, totally cool,
I'll
beautiful.
check it out
Everyone should check it out, because it's cool, and I'm excited to go in there and do it.
Nice.
Cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Stay tuned for the post show Patreon Silver members. Until next week, I love you.